Sheriff Sise.
The late?
The late Sheriff Sise. And this is late Badranjai. This is Hatib Diane. He was Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet. This is Sir Philip Bridges. He was the Attorney General.
Okay.
This is Jared Duffy, JLB Duffy. This is Haman Kanyi. This is myself,
Hassan Musa
Kamara, and then
That was Hassan Musa Kamara talking to Kebadiba in 2009 about his impression of the first cabinet meeting after the historic independence parade in Banjul. Firdaus for the late Hassan Musa Kamara will be held at the King Fahad Mosque in Banjul at 4 p.m. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. We'll be back with stories from outside the country right after this break. Welcome back. France's Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius has traveled to China for talks on the U.S.-Russia deal which aims to strip Syria of its chemical weapons. This as U.S. President Barack Obama welcomed the deal, saying progress has been made but stressed that more work needs to be done. CNN's David Mackenzie has the latest from Beijing.
Flew into Beijing on Sunday to meet with his Chinese counterpart and make the case for the U.S. and Russian plan to secure Syria's chemical weapons stockpile. China never wanted a military strike, so it's throwing its weight behind the plan.
China welcomes the framework agreement reached recently in Geneva by Russia and the United States about how to deal with Syria's chemical weapons arsenal.
Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that the proposal will help diffuse tension in a, quote, explosive situation. The French, together with the US and Britain, are looking to take the matter to the UN Security Council. But China and Russia, both permanent members, have consistently vetoed any sanctions or threats against Bashar al-Assad. The French foreign minister told me that the situation changed when Assad admitted to a large chemical weapons stockpile.
The question is, if there is a resolution, and there will be a resolution, this international agreement must be fulfilled. And it's much more difficult for a permanent member of the Security Council to veto in that circumstances.
Next up in the diplomatic push, Paris, where Fabius will meet with US Secretary of State John Kerry and William Hague, his British counterpart, where they'll try work out the details of a UN Security Council resolution which could be tabled later this week. David Mackenzie, CNN Beijing.
In the U.S. state of Colorado, forecasters have warned that more rain is on the way. The flood-ravaged state has experienced 38 cm of rain over the last several days, triggering devastating floods and mudslides, killing 4 people, with hundreds still unaccounted for. CNN's Nick Valencia report from the worst-affected area.
That this was a street in a beautiful Boulder, Colorado neighborhood, but the power of the flood that ripped through here left this trench-like ravine in its path. Look at it, it's just reducing it to sort of rocks and pieces of asphalt. The danger today is that more rain is on the horizon, and however slight that rain may be, this land is already so saturated and could create more problems for areas already hard hit. Days of intense rain have left swollen creeks, flooded roads, and damaged bridges in the state of Colorado. Dealing with the weather and its aftermath is proving to be difficult and dangerous. In Aurora, water and hail trapped drivers in a parking lot.
My car just stopped, so I told my son and my daughter, I was like, y'all, we got to get out. So we opened up the car door and water just started rushing in, and I threw my son on my shoulders.
Most people there were able to walk out, but for many others in the Boulder area, the only way out by helicopter. Hundreds have been picked up.
I think what we have going on here in the last 24 hours is the greatest number of Americans rescued by helicopter since Hurricane Katrina.
Many of those are trapped in towns where severe flooding shut down roads, leaving them stranded. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper and other officials saw the damage from the air. Their tour turned into another rescue mission.
Senator Udall, Senator Benedict, going, where are we? You know, is this, you know, who designed this skit? But I think most importantly, they were just glad to be out of there.
It's still a desperate effort to get people out of the inaccessible areas. The Boulder County Sheriff says search and rescue resumes, but it will be difficult.
The problem with this event is that it's affected every drainage and every road in the county that goes west. And so, you know, it's a sinking feeling when you realize that if someone above, or if someone in the peak-to-peak area calls 911, we are not going to be able to help them.
Residents like those that live in the home behind me, they can't even come out their front door and cross the street because they have this moat in their way. And however terrible that this might look, the governor of Colorado has said his first priority is reaching those that are stranded in those hard-to-reach remote areas.
We now take our second break. And before we go, a reminder of our headlines once again. President Jammeh has been urging the men and women in khaki to cultivate and adopt acceptable work ethics and morals in the force. The president made these remarks during voluntary walks by the men and women in uniform at his farms in Kanilai. The former vice president and leader of the defunct opposition Gambia People's Party during the First Republic, Hassan Musa Camara, has died at age 90. The diplomatic haggling over Syria is continuing as world powers express support for a U.S.-Russia deal that says to disarm the war-ravaged country of its chemical weapons. And forecasters are warning of more rains in the U.S. state of Colorado after floods and mudslides killed 4 people, with hundreds still missing. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and enjoy Grts. Until then, I am Abubakar Dabo.
Discover the smiling coast of...